Good morning, gentleman and lady. How are you today?
Good morning, sir. I'm fine, yourself?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good, good.
So, how was the last 2 days for you with the two videos, the course, the PowerPoint presentation by Alan, and then the practical session where he was explaining electrical safety analyzer using the Rigel equipment? And then I think we have another one from Fluke. So, how was the last 2 days?
Well, I'm here.
Yes. Can we see some video?
Let me
You
switch
don't
it
mind?
on. No problem. I'm here. Can you see me?
There you are.
Yes. Um, for me, on those two practical videos, I'm more familiar with the ESA, the Fluke,
Yes.
but then there's different model. I'm more familiar with the 601 and 620.
Mm,
The Rigel, it's quite new to me. I'm not familiar.
yes.
I haven't used it before.
Mm,
So basically, for me, those videos they were two very informative as well. And then they went into quite detail whereby you can differentiate between class one and class two,
mm,
and then what are the reasons why we should do electrical safety after repairs and services.
mm,
And then what else did I see again? Um, so for me, it was just going through all over it again because
yes.
I have knowledge of that as well.
Mm, mm,
Yeah, yeah. So it
great.
was very quite informative and just a memory pickup as well.
Yeah. So it's good that you are familiar with the ESA brand of equipment.
Yes.
And you are going to come across it in the other practicals.
Hmm.
So it was used for the other practicals. And we want to introduce students to other brands as well, because you might find yourself in a company or a hospital where they're used to one particular brand. Meanwhile, where you're coming from, you are an expert in a certain brand, but you've never seen this other one, so you get
Yes.
confused.
True.
Even though
True.
it's the same, it does the same thing, but now you have to learn it anew. So we
Yes.
try to give you a varied experience so you can be familiar with the Rigel, the Fluke, the ESA brand, and so on. So that whichever one you find in the environment where you work, at least you can relate to it. It will not be like starting from scratch, trying to learn it anew. Okay, so thanks for sharing. Who wants to go next? Tell us about your experience. The last 2 days, Chakela just come in, so that's what we're doing. What was it like? The videos, the course, the PowerPoint? Yes.
Hi, it's Nicolina.
Yeah.
Everything was very interesting and informative. I'm used to working with the BC Biomedical brand, the 2000 model.
Aha. Now
So,
that's another brand for you, Willem.
yeah, it looks like this. This is the brand that we use. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, but the videos was very informative of how the other two brands are also working. I have seen them working with other engineers in
Mm,
our
mm,
theater, while we are always part of the testing program of our DFIPs, our AEDs, all the dithermies. We're
mm,
always
mm,
part of
mm.
that when we do these tests. So we see the other brands as well. So that's good knowledge as well, a little bit on our side. And yeah, I quite enjoyed everything on the video side, explaining us to the different classes that there is and it's available. And yeah, I must say it was very informative, and I learned a lot just by watching the videos and the small presentation.
Okay, great. Chakela, welcome.
Morning, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, I went through all the videos and the reading. It was very, very interesting as I don't have any background in any equipment. I'm from the ICT side. So it was very, very informative. What I actually did as well, just to go an extra mile, is I went on YouTube just to get another fluke videos
Yes.
and understand, get more information and stuff. And after that, I went to some like our patient monitors and stuff just to read at the back and put the information to practical and stuff. So it was very, very informative and very interesting as well.
Great. I'm glad you had time to do some extra research, study, and digging to get more information. And
I was
that's
here for
usually very
1 o'clock, so
helpful.
I had all the time.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So then about the homework, did you struggle? I've seen what you submitted, and yeah, some of you did quite well. Was there any part that was a bit of a challenge? You struggled to figure it out? IP codes, IP ratings, how was that for you? I'm sure it's new information for some of you.
Yeah, on the IP codes, I said in the beginning, I must say it was a
Yeah,
bit tricky.
yeah,
But yeah, if you listen to the video a few times, like I
yes,
did, and
yeah,
I went to theater actually, and
yeah,
I opened a few equipment and see what it says.
yes,
Then I could get the what it's about.
yeah.
Yes.
And sometimes we see these symbols at the back of medical devices. We don't know what they mean, but they're there.
No.
And we're supposed to know as engineers. It's not for the doctors or nurses, it's for us as engineers to know what the symbols mean, to be able to interpret them. So I created those scenarios to help you to relate to, but it's a good experience. I'm going to send you some additional information on WhatsApp in form of PowerPoint. So
Okay.
that further explains some of these codes, IP ratings, electrical, different types of hazards in the medical environment. So that will be additional information to supplement the video. So perhaps where you are still confused, it will help you to understand it better. And Nicolene, particularly pay attention to the IP codes and IP ratings, the way they are categorized, the first digits, the second digits, and then how you group them together if you have IP and the two numbers. So how you group them together. So that PowerPoint,
Okay.
the video was actually created out of that PowerPoint. So the PowerPoint will help you explain it step by step how you group them together. And if you have an X, like IPX4 or IP4X, what does it mean? How do
Yes.
you interpret that? So I'll send you the PowerPoint at the end of this daily briefing today. Go through and then it will provide more information and more clarity.
Okay.
Okay, I think another challenging one. Cell phone charger. Is that class 1, class 2, class 3?
Class 2.
Class
Class
2.
two.
Why class 2?
What I actually did is firstly I went to my cell phone charger. I
Yes.
saw the symbol on the cell
Yes,
phone charger.
you
That's the
did.
first thing that gave me the indication that it is.
Okay.
And the other reasoning I couldn't get because now it's a small device now. I didn't know
Mm.
how to say it's double insulated or anything like that.
Yes.
Hmm.
And what power output do you get from your cell phone charger?
9 volts.
I think it's smaller than that.
Five.
Yes,
5.
about
5
5 or
volt.
thereabouts.
I think it's 5.
Mm.
Yes, 5
Yes,
volts.
yes. But try to Google Google class 3 devices, examples of class 3 devices, and see if a cell phone charger is among. Also
Mm.
Google class 2 devices and see if a cell phone charger pops up, right? And then let me know in the WhatsApp group what you find, so that we know exactly where to place the cell phone charger. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
But that was
Then,
a tricky one.
yeah. And a defibrillator. Remember, you have your defibrillator, the machine, you have the AED.
Yes. Yes.
That's also
Yeah.
a tricky one. Okay.
Yes.
Where would you classify an AED and why?
Willem here.
Yes.
AED, I would classify it as class 2
Mm-hmm.
because the covers or the enclosure, it's plastic,
Mm-hmm.
and then it doesn't have a F point.
Do
No.
you plug it onto power to charge it?
To charge, yes.
No.
And now it runs on battery.
One
runs
says
on
yes,
battery.
one says no, because that's the key.
You recharge it.
How do
the
you
thing.
recharge it? AED.
You plug it into the wall.
Okay, first of all, what's an AED? Can someone explain to us what an AED is, as opposed to the defibrillator? It's a defibrillator. It's a type of defibrillator, but yes. Can you?
It's an automated defibrillator.
Okay.
And that works on batteries. And ours, the Philips defibrillators that we have. Yeah, it runs on battery only, and it lasts for 3 years only. Then you need to replace them.
So you don't have a mains cable where you plug it on the wall like the other defibrillator machine, right?
No.
So it runs on
No,
battery.
it doesn't.
So that makes it what class?
2.
Check again for the AED. Okay.
Class B.
Okay, what about a pacemaker?
Pacemaker class class
an
3.
electronic pacemaker is the one that is hooked onto your body, and then you have wires that connect to the heart that provides a pulse that causes the heart to keep beating if your normal heart pacemaker in your heart fails. So it helps the heart, it provides a signal that causes the heart to continue to beat so that the heart doesn't fail. And normally it's implanted and it runs on battery as well. But I'll give you time to Google again, check again. These are discussions. I want you to think and be able to identify how to classify these devices. It's tricky, but it's good to do some more research and see exactly where to place them. So if you Google class 1 equipment examples, class 2 equipment examples, class 3 equipment, or you say you go to Google, what class of equipment is an AED? Maybe that will be quicker, right? And then we'll talk about it. You send me your results on WhatsApp. You can just send a WhatsApp message. Yeah. Let's see what else. Yes. In the course on hazard identification, there is this nurse that was poking a scissors onto the thing. Were you guys able to figure out those hot points that the hot points from that image that we had in that course on hazard identification? There are 3 points.
Yeah.
You were able to figure it out. Where are the points?
Willem here.
Yes.
I think on that one, I saw it did a marking as well.
Yes.
I only managed to identify 2, and I saw afterwards that I missed 1.
Yes.
So the hot points, the first one it's a Caesar.
Yes.
And then the second one it's I think the sister's she's not wearing shoes.
Correct.
So
correct.
Yes. That's the one that I missed.
Yes.
And then the third one, I think it's the running water, the tap on the tap.
So she was holding onto the tap.
Yes.
And you see, current looks for a path of least resistance First, the scissors. Current comes in from there, passes through her body, and then she was not wearing any shoes. If she was wearing shoes, yes, okay, she'll be protected because that provides an insulation from ground. No shoes, that's one point that the current can go through from her finger down to earth. The second one, she's holding onto the tap, so current can flow from the scissors to her hands, through her body, and to the tap to ground. So that provides a conductive path to ground, which can increase her risk of electric shock. Right. So for macro shock hazard to happen, there must be a path to ground. So macro shock is the shock that you actually feel, right? And micro shock is the small ones in microamps from leakage currents and all that. You may not feel it, but if it finds its way to the heart, conductive surface to the heart, microshock is the one that actually flows through the heart. That is what makes it risky. So a current that finds its way either through a catheter, like when you connect intravenous fluids and all that, current can flow through blood and through all those, the intravenous fluid is saline, salt and water is conducting. So current can find its way through that to the heart and create a micro shock hazard. So when you do electrical safety testing, I think the allowable limit for macro shock is 20 milliamps. And for micro shock, I think it's around, I'll have to check now. Yeah, I'll have to check the figures. But macro is 20 milliamps. Micro, I think, is about 10 microamps or something like that. It must not exceed 10 microamps. Otherwise, it can create problems for the heart. But I'll check and double check and confirm. So when we do electrical safety testing, we're testing to make sure there are no leakage currents that are above those safety limits. We make sure the equipment is properly grounded. Your 3-pin plug, must have that third pin, which provides conduction to ground. Always make sure the wire is connected. Some technicians, because you have your life and your neutral, say, okay, equipment is working, I don't care about the earth. Yes, equipment will work, but should there be a fault, the current is supposed to find its way to ground. If it does not find a conductive path to ground, and you happen to be that conductive path that is available, you expose yourself to a shock hazard. So your electrical safety testing will test to make sure that there's no problem with the grounding. There are no leakage currents that are above safety limits. It checks your leads, like your ECG leads and all that, to make sure that there are no micro shock hazards from currents, that are flowing through those leads to areas they're not supposed to. It makes sure your equipment is properly grounded, to make sure the ground wire is connected and the leads, the insulation and all that, everything is fine. Okay. What else is there to talk about? But I'm going to send you, like I said, the PowerPoint. Actually, 2 of those PowerPoints that provide more information about and read up the micro shock hazards and macro shock hazards as well. Okay. For today, your workload is not heavy. There's just one thing you're doing today. And let me see if I can share screen. You're only doing preventive maintenance today. I'll just quickly share. Okay, there we go. So we'll go to content. And for today, there's no practical for what you'll be doing today. That will be Unit 3. Preventive maintenance. And Selena will take you through the principles of preventive maintenance. And this is all you have to do today. And if you want to go
Welcome
back
to Unit
and
3,
look at the previous
Preventive
videos of the last
Maintenance.
2 days of
I'm
the
Miss
course and
Sivia
go
and
through
I'll be
again,
taking you through this
you will have the
presentation.
time and the opportunity to do that
Enjoy.
after this preventive maintenance session, and you have the whole weekend
At
to
the
do
end
that.
of this unit, you would have
So you
learned
can
what
see
is
the
preventive
objectives here for
maintenance,
preventive maintenance.
advantages of preventive
And
maintenance.
yeah, so Selena is all yours today. And if along the way there are any questions or any issues, you can always send me a message on the WhatsApp group. Otherwise, I will see you guys again on Monday morning, same time, 9 o'clock. Yeah, for a daily briefing. Are there any questions or comments before I let you go? Okay, great. So I will send you those WhatsApp, the PowerPoints on WhatsApp. Take time to go through, and then we'll meet again on Monday. Great. So have yourselves a nice day and a wonderful weekend.
You too, sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too, sir.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.